second hour. Boy, time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? I'm telling you what. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere. Welcome back to the second hour of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online, as we crank up 45 minutes of nonstop talk and music and fun here as we get into the second hour of our program here on Spreaker across America, GJRB Online, and glad you could be with me today. Coming up this next hour, we'll have some more news stories for you and some interesting ones, of course. Always have some interesting news stories to talk about. And we'll talk and play some music and keep track of the Cubs scores and all that good stuff coming up as we continue the show. And let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at that. This hour, let's take a look at what we got here so far. Hey, the Cubs got a run in on Humor. He homered 3 on a fly ball. Yeah, to Matt Carpenter. And the Cubs are now in the lead. Yeah, 6-5. Let's see how long that lasts. They're going now into the top of the 7th inning. And the Cubs are ahead by 1 run. Although, I got to tell you, 1 run is nothing. Really isn't. It's nothing. I mean, compared to what? Really. So let's just see where that goes. I really don't know. You know, I kind of wonder about that, but we'll keep an eye on that this afternoon as we continue the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Always a pleasure to bring you this show here on the GJRB Online Network. And we do a Saturday afternoon show like this. And, of course, normally it is a Saturday afternoon show we do. We were doing it all summer. And then football started. And I decided, why don't we just take a break from doing the show? I was doing it because we were regularly, my regular guest would come on, and that was Ben Osman from Pittsburgh, and he would come on with us regularly and talk to us while we're on the air. You know, he'd call the program and would talk for almost an hour, and it was kind of a fun show then because at least I was getting some quality conversation going on in this broadcast, you know, and it's. Well, let's put it this way. It's been one of those times when I wish that, I had a wide audience of listeners on this program, because I would love to just at one point or another have some listeners on this show. It would really make it a whole lot more better. And by the way, Ed Delgado, I wanted to thank him. He's offering to help me out. Well, we need to connect this week over that, as a matter of fact. Over the, let's see what we can do with the graphic plan to kind of make this show work and get some audience, which would be kind of nice. It really would be fantabulous if we get some listening audience here. Okay, we're going to do right now is I'm posting all over the internet. I'm sorry about that. We were going to be on right away, but sometimes it takes a while for some apparent reason to get this thing rolling off the foot, because this computer, sometimes not the computer, but it seems like even my Spreaker Studio console would freeze, and I think I might have too many. So why don't we do this one story this hour? What I'll talk about comes from Spaced Out Radio. And the CW, I know they have some kind of program on the air, but right now they're shunning UFO. UFO seekers are snubbed by the CW. Now, as you will remember straight, a while back, there was plan to storm Area 51. They were going to do that. There was talk of it, and then the guy who wrote that on Facebook canceled it, says it was a joke, a running joke, forming Area 51. that it was a running joke that this wasn't real, blah blah blah. He was going to say that it was just a crank, or something or other to that, stated to that effect. And now I'm thinking, okay, is this a crank? Is this real? Are they playing? But then the government and some of the people there were warning these people not to come to this event, this storming of Area 51, because you're risking your life. Don't do it. Don't go up to Area 51. Do not storm it. Because we're warning you, you'll face the consequences. And they were saying that. They were saying that do not even think about storming Area 51, or you'll be in some nasty trouble. Mm-hmm. So now the story goes that the CW must have been having a TV show about that. I see a couple of promos for it. There's no more footage for you, or anyone else for that matter. That comes from UFO Seekers and its owner, Tom Doyle, who is pretty upset about the whole situation, about a television show on CW. It was called Mysteries Decoded. Yeah, but I never haven't. Quite frankly, I haven't really watched this program. I thought about it, and I saw promos for it, and I haven't seen it since. Recently, Tim had licensed his footage, and he had captured at Area 51 2 years ago to CW for their television show, with stars Ryan Sprague of the U.S. Navy veteran and Jennifer Marshall. And to date, it's some of the best close-up footage of the secretive U.S. military installation that sits inside the Nevada testing range. However, there was a strange play during the episode where the Mysteries Decoded gets into a storming Area 51 and Bob Lazar. CW used Tim's video, but failed to credit him for the UFO Seekers during the episode. And to add insult to injury for this whole hard work, the script Marshall read at the beginning of the episode had her calling Sprague her little UFO Seeker. What upset Doyle, though, in the UFO Seekers was when the same show used the footage from the Stars Academy. The videos were given full credit to TTSA for their footage. Doyle felt that it was a little bit like a double standard. Quote, they never mentioned UFO Seekers but used our Taekwondo peak footage the whole time. Doyle told the SOR News Wire, that's Spaced Out Radio. Doyle then called up the production company of the show to find out what was happening, and he was told that about its sheer coincidence of the UFO Seeker. At the beginning of the Doyle states that representatives from the CW blamed the editing process. They didn't know. Doyle then, who is known as a fiery UFO hunter, with strong opinions about the need to speed up ufology, and said this was the biggest blow to his career in studying UFOs. Quote, it's the worst thing to happen so far. On a Twitter, Doyle at UFO _seekers stated. He said, quote, this is how Hollywood treats you when you don't kiss the ring, and will never use our footage again, unquote. And it's a good warning for other UFO searchers and enthusiasts to make sure that when signing a contract for your video footage, make sure that the television show is giving you full credit. So I'm going to give full credit to this article to Spaced Out Radio, because I do give credit where credit is due for articles when I read them on here. I give, because I don't own the rights to these articles. I read them, but I don't own the right to the article, but I give credit to the article writer, which comes from the Dave Scott Spaced Out Radio, and Dave Scott, host of Spaced Out Radio, wrote this. So, interesting story. And like I said before, that Mysteries Decoded, I've been wanting to watch that. Now, I'm not sure if it's still on the air. I couldn't say, but it would be. I had to see, because I have a Roku box, and I can watch on demand. If they still, I hope they have them on demand, because I like to catch an episode of that show, because I heard it was pretty good. So I don't know. Your comments are welcome on that one. If anybody's watched Mysteries Decoded on the CW, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning to check out that one day. And maybe when I do my Way Out There, before I do my Way Out There show, I'll probably mention it, because it's it's interesting. It really is. I kind of like the. So I'll have to check it out. All right, coming up this hour, birthday shout-outs is coming up, and I need to turn that down maybe just a little bit. Birthday shout-outs coming up, and we'll do a birthday thing and see who's out there. Also coming up on the show, scroll through social media continues, but I usually kind of like to bump around here and pick things so that I could do my next story. Because my next story is weather in the news. Because we're going to be doing weather on the 5s here coming up. Speaking of which, reminded me that I need to go into my Roku box and pull up Weather Nation. Okay, so I need to do that real quick here. Yeah, Okay. Okay, let's see here. Gonna pull up Weather Nation, get that ready. Let's see if we can get that going here. And I'll give me a chance to... Oh, what? I'm in the wrong one. Jeez. Okay, come on now. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. I might put Weather Nation on that anywhere TuneIn is at on my Roku box, because I always accidentally hit that one instead. But Weather Nation is like right in front of me to the far left. Why do I keep hitting that? Okay, I'm going to go back out of that. Okay, yes. Yes, I want to exit. Okay. Went back in. Okay, that means that it doesn't want me to do weather. Something here does not want me to do weather, because it goes right back in where I left off. Okay, let me do that again one more time. Yes. Because maybe I'm not pointing at the right direction, or there's always something blocking my Roku box, so I can't use the remote control. And it keeps doing that. So I might postpone Weather Nation weather this hour, because I'm not ready. And let me see here. Why don't we postpone the weather? Let's postpone that weather story. I'm going to abort that weather story till I'll get close to weather on the 5s. I think I'll do it that way. This way we'll have it ready. Meanwhile, your opinions are welcome. I so far, I guess I've been looking. I haven't seen anybody on here so far. We have 45 minutes. We're about 17 or so plus minutes into the 45 minutes of nonstop talk, and I'm not getting anybody on there, so we're going to keep trying. If you hear that buzzing, that is the video from the Weather Nation. The screen. It's just it does that. There's nothing I can do about it, and it's a small buzz. It really isn't all that noticeable, but yeah, it's something that you have to put up with when you're listening to an amateur broadcast. There's pro, and then there's me, whatever the case may be. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go to up here where I have that in there. Okay, where's my thunderstorm? Here it is. Okay. All right, there we go. so that we can get the get that up there. And meanwhile, back in the jungle, I'm going to let's see here. Want to go? Okay, I want to close this tab. Okay, I want to close this tab. Want to go down and get ready to do that. Next story, so that I can kind of reduce the amount of tabs I have up. When I'm done with the National Weather Service, I usually click out of that. Okay, we are in the top of the 7th inning, and the Chicago Cubs are losing again. Let's see. Marcell Ozuna homered 20 homers on a fly ball center field, so it looks like the Cubs are losing again. Cardinals 7, Cubs 6 in the top of the 7th inning. Man, what is wrong with those guys? It's just like they're letting them homer. Like I said before, I have never seen a baseball team like the Chicago Cubs walk so many people. It's ridiculous. I mean, what is up with that? Why is there so much walking going on here? Why is it that I could see them trying over and over again to get a double play, but I really don't think double play is all that important. There are other ways of getting players out other than a double play. I mean, they can just, I don't know, I just don't get why they're losing. I believe it is, like I've said before, half a dozen million times, and I'll say it again. It's like the Cubs are getting paid to lose. They are. They're getting paid to lose. You know, remember, there's a sports wager thing going on right now. There's a sports wager. It's been happening, and gotta tell you, I believe that that's part of the deal. I think the Cubs are getting a nice, handsome profit from losing this baseball game. I just truly believe that. I mean, you can't pull this out. I do. I believe this. Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be. Because why is it that they are losing like that? It's absolutely nuts, and I just don't understand it. They are doing that now. I'm not saying that they couldn't win, and they can win, but it seems like they are trying to very, very, very hard to lose because they were offered some nice money to lose. That's what I think, in my personal opinion. Because why? I mean, look how many years ago that they played up against the Cardinals and won. 3? Absolutely. So you have to wonder if maybe that's the situation here. I believe it. They just can't tell me anything new. Here's weather on the 5s. Talk about some of that severe weather right now from Weather Nation.
In a very big way, pretty much from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. We've got a powerful storm system that's bringing in tropical moisture from the leftovers of Imelda and a little bit from Morena on the eastern Pacific as well. Just to the southeast of Wichita, Kansas, you can see it there on the map. We have our first tornado warning, which is in place just east of Arkansas City and right around the Dexter and Cloverdale areas. This one interesting here because we've seen another area of rotation in the last couple of scans kind of pop up. If there is a tornado, it's likely right there where I've circled, where you've got some of those bright greens next to the bright reds. That is a very close, tight circulation. But we've also been watching from time to time up here where we've seen that circulation tightening up as well. And the latest scan kind of continuing both of those. You can see one right here and the other right there. This is certainly a powerful cluster of storms that continues to work its way east towards Cloverdale and Granola. So please take shelter immediately. Go to the lowest level, most interior room of your home or office and make sure it's a sturdy building, because that will help keep you and your family safe. So that's our first storm just outside of Wichita. And then if we broaden things out, I can show you just how big that storm system is. We've seen some powerful activity into the panhandle of Texas, some stronger thunderstorms building there. And we've also been monitoring some strong activity through North Dakota and Minnesota. And that's where we find a strong thunderstorm that is pushing towards Duluth, Minnesota. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in and around the Grand Forks area. So if you're traveling through there, please be exceptionally careful. We've got a lot going on here. A lot of blinking boxes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning until 4:45. That tornado warning for parts of Kennebec and Mille Lacs counties until 4:45 p.m. This is just on the southeastern side of Mille Lacs Lake, and it's working its way right through Isle and Red Top and Opstead. This is moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, and we've been watching some more powerful pockets of rotation that have been popping up here as we see some brighter greens and a little bit of darker spots in there. That's helping to give us an idea of where that spin is popping up. Some good news is extending down south, downstream, if you will, just to the northeast of this, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45 as we watch this storm move out. The fact that that is a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning is a good news, a piece of good news, but you still need to be prepared for whatever is headed your way. So this active pattern continues across Minnesota. You can see that storm that's approaching I-29 around the Grand Forks area. Because of the linear structure here, I can almost guarantee you're going to see gusty winds and possibly up to severe threat there near Grand Forks. And if you follow that cold front, it stretches into northern Iowa, and we're going to watch as a lot more activity builds here in the next couple of hours as well. This is a big system, Chelsea, and part of what's happening is it's feeding all of that leftover moisture from Imelda into the forecast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And on top of that, we have a system that's on the western side of Mexico, Lorena, that's giving us impacts as well. So double push of moisture. So there's a lot going on in the tropics as well. Let's do a quick update of the overview that we have across the board. We have a lot of information to get to, so let's go ahead and look at the overview for the tropics. And we're going to continue to monitor several locations across the board as well. You'll notice there are two disturbances, the medium outlook as well as the high risk, the orange and the red, for two disturbances that are still not very organized, at least not yet, as well as Jerry that's moving away from the Leeward Islands. That's giving us a break from the steady and heavy rain we've had the last 24 to 48 hours. That's going to continue to. It's a little bit weaker. It's just a tropical storm at this point, and it's forecasted, it looks like, to stay as a tropical storm by the time it brings impacts to Bermuda. That's much than previously when it could have been a Category 1 hurricane. But Jerry will bring impacts to Bermuda. Even if this shifts to the east or west just a little bit, we'll still have the opportunity for heavy rain, gusty winds, and steady downpours. Again, here's another cluster of storms that's on the eastern side of the Lesser Antilles. This is still very unorganized, but it is expected to organize itself over the next 5 days. And regardless if it's a tropical system or not, still heavy rain is expected for the Windward Islands farther to the south. You can see the models aren't very sure other than it moving to the west-northwest, and so we'll continue to monitor that as we go forward in time. But also, I mentioned Lorena. You can see that storm, Category 1, dropping to a tropical storm as it moves through the Gulf of California, the Baja of California, and then we have two storms still just kind of doing their own thing. But as we zoom in to Tropical Storm Lorena, impacts from this are already being felt in the U.S. We have moisture pumping into this long system, as well as the opportunity for additional moisture to give us some heavy downpours into areas like Phoenix and Albuquerque into early next week. When we look at the water vapor satellite imagery, you can see all of the greens, the clouds just latching on to that frontal boundary. But we also have to watch that we do have those tropical storm warnings for the Baja, As we go forward in time, the forecast is for that to continue to track northerly, and that's what's going to give us those impacts into areas like Arizona as early as tomorrow. There is a marginal risk for excessive rainfall through the Phoenix metro area, and we'll continue to see that moisture pumping in. We're already seeing that moisture pumping into areas in Texas, as well as Imelda pumping in additional moisture. So a lot of areas to watch for excessive flooding, but we're going to be highlighting the southwest going forward as well. But let's take a look at the Viper radar and get another update.
Yeah, just one more look at those storms. Just a few more minutes on that tornado warning southeast of Wichita. As we've been watching the circulation here tightening up, I wouldn't be surprised if they extended this a bit farther to the east into Cloverdale and Granola. If we jump over to our velocity product, you can see that very distinct area of rotation just to the east of Dexter. Those bright greens and bright reds out there. So please, if you're within this warning, take shelter immediately. We also have that strong storm around Duluth, Minnesota. This is in Wilkes County, just along the southeastern edge of Millocks Lake, and that's going to be with us for another 20 minutes as well. On the backside of this system, it's been all about the cold air and snow.
I lost my sight when I was...
And there you go. That looks like pretty bad weather in Kansas and all that area. We'll be taking a look at that later on. But there are a lot of them under tornado warnings, especially when you get into Kansas and over into those areas that she was just mentioning. And we're going to keep an eye on our weather here in Clinton, Iowa, and keep an eye on that. We'll do our weather on the fives for Clinton, Iowa next hour. Weather on the fives, 25 and 45 minutes past the hour on all music shows, 25 and 55 talk shows, or any time in the hour that ends in 5. Weather on the fives right here on GJRB Online as we're doing 45 minutes of continuous talk right here on GJRB Online. So thank you a lot for listening. Heading into part 3, we'll be doing another 45 minutes of nonstop talk and wrap up this show with all our little features that we do on Saturday, including our shout outs. And speaking of shout outs, why don't we get that ready to go too, because we have a birthday shout out to some friends, a Facebook friend. So we're going to do that. But right now it's time as we're doing the weather and the news. She was talking about snow earlier. Yeah, for some areas in Montana. Look at that later. But right now, yeah, that doesn't sound too good. Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to put explicit on here. 4-letter word. Yeah. According to the Farmer's Almanac, that's what they're saying. Farmer's Almanac saying they're predicting that there'll be no fewer than 7 big snowstorms this year. Yeah, that's according to the Farmer's Almanac report. This weekend, they're talking about this. They're saying that, let's see if we can go down here and be able to keep it maintained so that I can read it. The old Farmer's Almanac saying that this was been released. Its annual extended forecast for the winter 2019-2020. The Almanac predicts that there will be a repeat of last winter with record-breaking extremes, including heavy snow and freezing temperatures. So make sure to be a reliable pair of snow boots because it's going to get nasty according to this. They need the storm, need them this winter. Not long after the Farmer's Almanac suggested it would be freezing, frigid, and frosty season, other Farmer's Almanac has released its annual weather forecast, and it's equally upsetting that while the first publication focused on cold temperatures anticipated this winter, the old Farmer's Almanac also predicts excessive snowfall will be most noteworthy as part of it. The old Farmer's Almanac, which was founded in 1792, says that the upcoming winter will be remembered for strong storms featuring heavy rain, sleet, and lots of snow. Periodical actually used the word snow verload. Snow verload. SNOWVERLOAD. Snow verload. To describe the conditions we're expecting for the coming months. The 2020 Old Farmer's Almanac is calling for frequent snow events, from flurries to fewer than 7 big snowstorms from coast to coast. And That's no more than 7. In additional excessive precipitation below normal temperatures are also expected, with this frigid and frosty conditions lasting well into the spring for some parts of the country. So looks like we could have no spring. Oh boy. Anyway, let's take a look. It could be a never-ending winter, particularly in the Midwest and east of the Ohio Valley and the Appalachians, where wintry weather will last well into March and even through the first days of spring, according to the Almanac editor Janice Stillman. So yeah, here we go. It's going to be a repeat of last year. If you're planning to escape the cold weather, the forecast notes that even typically tropical Hawaii will feel a chill, experience colder temperatures and heavy thunderstorms. So you might want to hold off on that beach vacation. The Old Farmer's Almanac is about 80.5% right in their predictions of last year's weather, and its report of upcoming season is very similar to that of the competing Farmer's Almanac. In other words, the chances that we'll escape this winter without a few snowstorms and freezing temperatures is very slim. So there you go. Big part of that. Coming up, we'll talk about Rick Ocasek, the Cars. They're saying that he was recovering from surgery when he died. This is a report. I'm going to play. I'm going to look. Let me go to my YouTube here real quick. I'm going to go to my YouTube. And let me see here. Where's that freaking YouTube here? Okay, it should be here. I thought I saved YouTube on here. Okay. Go to YouTube. I'm going to go to the other one. That's probably why I can't find it, because I'm not looking at the right browser. Okay, let me see here. YouTube. Don't see it on there either. Okay, I'm going to have to go into the help and do it. Okay, I'm going to click out of this story here in just a little bit. We're going to click out of that browser, give it a rest, and I'll find it later. I'm going to okay, let me see here. I thought I had YouTube mentioned. Okay, I'm going to have to go and get YouTube up. I'm going to do that right now. And we'll pull up a song by the Cars, because we lost Rick Ocasek this week, lead singer of the Cars, and sad story about how he died too. He died in his sleep, natural causes. And they were a fabulous band in the 1970s. They were one of my favorites. Actually, they were out when I was in high school, and they had some really good songs. And I'm going to play one of the best ones that I think had to be one of their best ones out of the 80s, actually. They kind of declined in the 80s. They were still kind of big. They had a couple of songs. And one of them is what I'm going to play. It became a big hit in the early 80s. And I'll put this in my 80s playlist because it's a good song. And it's from 1984, actually. Yeah, 1984. How about that? Yeah. And then we'll do a story about the Cars. Rick Ocasek coming up right after we hear Drive. This is Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra.
Who's gonna tell you when it's too late? Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. What now? Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Who's gonna pick you up when you Who's gonna pay attention to your dream? Yeah, who's gonna plug their ears when you scream? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Who's gonna hold it down when you shake? Who's gonna come around when you break? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Oh, you know you can't go on. Nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
They were a fabulous band. Love them. The Cars on GHRB Online and Drive. GHRB Online here on Spreaker across America. We're doing the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra. Kind of a dark day today here in Clinton, Iowa. Let's take a look at our weather on the fives for Clinton, Iowa coming up next hour right here on GJRB Online. And then we'll take a look at some low temperatures and see some of the areas that we are going to talk about live, and it's kind of one of those dead somewhat days today in the afternoon for Saturday, but we're just going to keep on doing the show here as we continue the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. And we got weather on the fives coming up here in just a little bit, and we're going to be got about 6 more minutes left of this segment. And then we're going to take another quick break and be back. Got some more good stuff in our next part, including our birthday greetings, and we'll also do a Spreaker podcast shout out coming up. Usually we do that in the last hour, so keep it here on GJRB Online and do that. And talk about what I got planned for GJRB Online. Got some more weighing my radio station schedule puzzle, and that's one of those things. Rick Ocasek, member of the Cars, absolutely fabulous song. Yeah, they got a bunch of ones too, including You Might Think. Great video, that one. I was impressed by that video. That was a cool video. One of my all-time favorites. And of course, the other one was Best Friend's Girlfriend, which was out in 1979. We'll try to squeeze that in today. That's a good song. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Gary Russen program here on GHRB Online, here on Spreaker across America, and we're doing the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra here on GHRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the show, and I hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening across America. And Rick Ocasek, one day after his death, family of the lead frontman for the Cars said he died unexpectedly but peacefully, recovering from an unspecified surgery. He was recovering from one of the family members wrote on Instagram, quote, Rick was recuperating very well. The two sons, Jonathan and Oliver, and I were making sure that he was comfortable and ordering food and watching TV together. Well, he was asleep, but he was going to wake him up for a Sunday morning coffee. He touched him and realized that he had passed on in the night. He was recovering from surgery. Sad thing, though. He was recovering from surgery. And when he just peacefully passed on. He was bad. I liked a lot of his song. That was a great group. Matter of fact, I mean, it's a lost art form. Their music was absolutely incredible. And a lot of their hit records went to the top 10. A lot of them did. The Kasich family are appreciative of a great outpouring of love that they had received following the singer's death. New York apartment. Okasich's son shared a charming illustration of their father did before his death, noting that that Okasich was a prolific doodler. He liked to draw, and asked for it to feature several other phrases. He added the potency to the wake of his Okasich's death. Never forget to look, keep on laughing. Anyway, we had two big rock stars died this week. It was Rick Ocasek of the Cars. It was Eddie Money. I mean, wow. It's like, it was really crazy that we have all these deaths this week. A lot of the big music stars, some of the big hits of the 70s are like almost gone. And we're stuck with no talent. Sorry, I hate to say it, but it's true. And here's another one out of the entertainment file. Rod Stewart, recovering. He is under remission. He had cancer. He is pleased to announce that he is he's doing very well. His prostate cancer is now in remission. He had hit records like "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" Singer opened up with a lot of songs live. He put a lot of standards now. He was recording a lot of songs with Tony Bennett. The 74-year-old singer said 2 years ago that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. To a crowd of about 500 guests in a recent Wentworth club in Surrey, England. According to the Daily Mirror, reporter Rod Kennedy revealed that he was diagnosed with the prostate cancer during a routine checkup at a doctor's office back in February of 2016. So he's recovering very well, and that's fabulous. He had some big 1970s and a number of really big tunes. So there you go. Some of the stuff we got. So the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. We're getting close to the end of this segment, about a minute 30 left. Coming up in the next segment, we'll do our birthday greetings, our birthday shout-outs, and celeb birthdays coming up. So stay tuned for that. Also coming up this hour, we'll do our Spreaker shout-outs to all our podcasters out there. So we're going to do that. One more weather forecast for Clinton, Iowa from the Weather on the Fives, and a whole lot more. So stay right here. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, continues with another 45 minutes of continuous nonstop talk and music next on the GJRB Online Network.